Hi, I'm Jameson Newlander, Alan Frog from the Lost Boys, and you're watching the Frog Brothers Podcast.
What's Scooby-Doo running from a spooky ghost?
It's refreshment time, folks.
Are either one of these any good?
Do you like scary movies?
I don't watch movies.
I have to return some videotapes.
You have a TV? No. I just like to read the TV guide. Read the TV guide. Don't need a TV.
Books, records, films, these things matter. Call me Shell. It's the fucking truth.
Over 1,600 titles, each for rent at just $2 the first night, and only
Finish him.
I don't watch TV.
Yeah, but you are aware that there's an invention called television, and on this invention they show shows, right?
Watch a few movies, take a few notes.
Channels 18, 24, 63, 109, 87, and the Weather Channel.
Welcome to the Frog Brothers Podcast with your hosts, Justin and Alec.
Hello, and welcome back to the Frog Bros Podcast. I am Justin.
I'm Alec.
I'm Nick.
And he's Nick. He wants to be Batman, though. You can tell. Nick. Hey, speaking of the Batman, it comes out pretty soon. Who's excited?
Yes.
Anybody?
Very.
No.
Yeah, I've kind of lost interest in it since the last couple trailers I've seen. I'm like, I'm going to see it, but I'm
going to see it, but I'm not like stoked.
I'm not hyped up like I was at first. I was like, okay,
I'm going to give it a
really
chance.
cool.
I have no expectations though.
Yeah.
Which means I'll probably end up liking it a little bit. So.
And Booger is trying to sort through the garbage.
Booger.
He's,
Booger. Don't
trying
do
to-
that.
He almost got a lid of some can.
Cat food can lid. He thinks
Cat
he's the
food.
raccoons from The Great Outdoors. We had talking word bubbles for him. We would. So we're on episode 99.
99.
And we've done well
like
over
Get
100
Smart.
episodes, but
Hello.
episode 100 is officially coming soon. And to celebrate, we are launching our Patreon officially. We are excited to announce that. We'll have some pricing and stuff up soon on what that's going to look like. We recorded our first exclusive commentary for Ghostbusters 1984 that'll be up on the feed at launch. So look forward to that.
And like any good 100th episode, one of us will die.
Or maybe all three of us.
At least one.
Well,
It'll probably be me. What?
yeah, I guess so.
We got show and tell?
Knowing how you drive.
Yeah, we got some show.
No,
and
but
tell.
I've also got a little contest to announce here. It's huge. It's off
yeah,
the top.
that's related to
it's fresh.
Patreon.
It's fresh. It's on Patreon. So in order to help drive some stimulation, some people to jump on
A
the
stimulus
Patreon,
package.
I've got a pair of the World's Fair coins we're going to be giving away because I could do one, but then you wouldn't have one to leave at home at all times. So what kind of assholes would we be if we didn't give out two?
Yeah.
So anyone that joins
We should
our
push that during
Patreon-
the commentary.
yeah,
Like, you can win that coin.
everyone,
No, that's in a deleted scene. Shit.
everyone that signs up for Patreon by March 15th, so we're going to give you basically a 2-week window from launch, will be entered into a contest to win a pair of coins. So make sure you join and check that out. We'll be out posting some behind-the-scenes
Is
stuff
it-
on there as well.
Is it two coins that look the same? Or are they different
They look the same. They're the
grades of dirty? Or
I don't know. Most of what I have right now, I would say, is good quality. Some of the high-quality ones there.
you get
I
a
had-
pair because Janine had one and Egon had one.
Exactly.
And you can give it to someone you love.
It's like the
Like-
two turtle doves.
I was about to say that.
That's exactly what I thought when she said she had one at home. I was like,
Give it to someone you think
Like,
is
it's
going to
brilliant.
die.
Jesus.
Well,
Well,
that's what
that's-
she said. She thought he was going to die.
he
I'm
said,
afraid you're going to die.
Yeah, that's what she said. But then he's like, I shouldn't take this. I'm afraid. Well, I'm
I forgot to talk about that during the commentary. All the people like, Janine predicted that Egon was going to die like 35 years later.
Everyone fucking
and
dies.
they're all
Thanks,
gonna die
Captain
eventually.
Obvious.
Yep. That is the thing.
This is great.
it.
So yeah, so we're excited about the Patreon. We're gonna have some behind-the-scenes content. If you haven't seen the World's Fair coins from 1964, we have a most excellent video up on our YouTube. So click on over and check that out. That'll be on the regular
These two
regular
reenact.
channel.
It is most non-heinous.
They reenact the deleted scene.
What? Alex steals a coin off my fireplace?
No, you two reenact the Janine Egon deleted scene.
Oh, that deleted scene. I thought you meant the Afterlife deleted scene where Janine steals
Oh,
from a dead
no.
man's house.
Oh, fuck it.
I mean,
yeah,
he's
but
dead.
everything in his house was stolen. So
I mean, technically, maybe she just let him borrow it for a while. Either way. So,
Technically, you're borrowing everything because when you die, nothing's yours anymore.
exactly. That's why, like, when they say you own a house, you really don't own the house. You just kind of lease it.
you'll probably die before you pay it off and own it anyway.
You didn't even own your underwear, bitch.
It owns you.
Yeah. The underwear, the sex
At
toys
first
you
it's
end up owning.
restricting.
End up owning you.
Yeah.
Then it becomes a part of you.
I was going with like Fight Club.
We got Wayne's World 2 and we got Fight Club here. Great.
Oh no.
What happened?
The ALF card.
The ALF trading cards fell. Hey, so you might be wondering why there's all kinds of alien shit, specifically ALF here, even though we already covered Project ALF, one of the
Alien
greatest
Life
movies of
Force.
all time.
Hold on. I want to go into some purchases real quick before I do anything. I went to the thrift stores the other day and spent a total of $9 because
Save that one for last. The top.
you got to like buy things, you know, like to make yourself feel good. At least that's how I deal with trauma. I
That's how
learned
you get
therapy.
That's how you get your dopamine, is by buying toys.
Buying
or
dumb
things.
shit.
Yeah.
Like that's one of my like coping mechanisms.
I
And I'm not.
understand.
I'm being like legit here. That's one of the things I learned in therapy.
Well, it makes you feel
Spending
like-
money makes me feel good,
It recreates that Christmas morning feeling.
so I do it often, and that's why I'm broke.
Well, and it helps keep you a sense of purpose because you don't want someone else just getting all your stuff if you were to pass. You want to keep it all.
I am gonna keep it all because I'm gonna live forever.
I hate to break it to you.
What does he say in Futurama? I'm never gonna die because I'm in denial. Let's see.
Well, show off your goods here because I got some
Pretty
good
good shape.
The Lost World. This is a first edition hardcover copy.
That is a
The Lost
sequel
World.
to Jurassic Park, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I have the first edition hardcover as well, as along with the original Jurassic Park. It's a first edition.
This was $4 at the Goodwill, and it was the
fucking
only
excellent
thing I picked up at Goodwill there. I went to the thrift store, literally in the same next door, called like Red Rex or something around here.
Oh yeah.
They had a decent amount of VHS, but I wasn't feeling like picking up a bunch. I was like, I'll just pick up a couple tapes that feel like
They
this is pretty cool.
Is Planet of the Gapes like a porn parody? You
I'm
think
sh-
that exists?
Sure it is now. If it's
The-
not,
The G is silent.
The apes.
anyway, Planet of the Apes, the OG with
Charlton Heston.
the guy who used to lead the NRA.
Mm-hmm.
So
Who got to peel the gun from his dead, lifeless hands? Someone got to do that.
this is the dopest find because of the quality and everything. It is a rental copy of Willow.
And we'll be covering Willow soon before the
TV
sequel
series?
series drops on Disney Plus.
Of course, it's a Columbia Pictures release too, so it has the classic
Oh fuck yeah, I love that.
red and the little RCA at the top and shit.
I watched that not too long ago. Not as good as when I was a kid, but still good.
Richard Simmons, sweating to the
Sweating
oldies.
to the oldies. What's the year on that one?
Shit. 19, God knows. Holy shit, what is this?
Those scratcher tickets? Those are scratcher tickets.
Sweating to the oldies. It's a jukebox. Is that an order form for some music?
Those aren't scratch tickets.
No, it's the top 10 guidelines. Pace yourself. Get checked out. Look the part. Wear good athletic shoes and comfortable clothing. It's instructions.
Hell yeah.
Look at that little jukebox pamphlet that's just in there. This is actually the
That's
wrong
probably worth
VHS
some
tape.
money.
The VHS tape is for Richard Simmons, Sweating to the Oldies 2.
Oh.
He's got the slipcase for
Yeah.
one.
I didn't
Oh.
check close enough when I was buying it. I just saw Sweating to the Oldies, and I was like, good enough for me.
How much was it?
99 cents.
Yeah, I think you're okay.
Yeah, I'm not that worried about it. It's just kind of like you want to have a few workout tapes, just like you want to have a few porno tapes around.
You
So.
need a
Well, if you're
plane.
going to have a proper video store, yeah, you got to have a
need
little
that
bit of
plane
everything,
in the
right? Some of
background.
those special interests too, right? You can't just have everything.
Classically, one of the worst Halloween movies, Halloween Resurrection. But I don't have a huge horror collection. Horror's some of the hard VHS to find, so
Horror VHS goes for a
Is
pretty
that
good price.
the fucking reality show one?
yeah.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah, the sequel to
H2O?
H2O, yeah. So the third in that trilogy line. Twilight Zone, the movie.
The cursed edition.
Exactly. So those were my $9 expenditure of the week.
I guess I'll show off what I bought. I bought one of these mini puffed no ghost logos from Egon and Company. It's pretty nice. It's a little bit bigger than I thought it would be, just because I thought it was going to be closer to the screen use patches, but it looks pretty nice. I like it. Don't know what I'm going to use it on yet, but I figured I was like, I'll get one of those.
You should use it on a thong.
Like on the front or the back?
The front.
Oh, okay.
Well, then it'll be all.
And then I realized I'd been seriously neglecting my love of Jurassic Park with all the Ghostbusters Afterlife stuff going on. And I finally picked up the Dr. Alan Grant Amber collection.
Well, you got another legacy sequel for Jurassic Park coming.
Yep. So I picked this up. Pretty good price. Just ordered it on Target's app. Came right away. Very quick shipping. And then I also was like, oh shit, they released Muldoon too. So I jumped on there and Muldoon was half off. So if you're collecting these and you hadn't seen Muldoon in stores, because all I'm seeing on store shelves right now is occasionally Ellie Sattler, but mostly John Hammond, which I already have both of those. So expect some toy photography spam on our Instagram of the Jurassic Park Amber Collection figures once I get around to opening them.
Sexy.
Nick, have you bought anything recently?
Probably.
Probably.
I actually haven't really been buying anything this month on purpose.
Did you get your raccoon butt plug yet?
Oh, I got that a long time ago.
Sweet.
But no, I've deliberately been trying not to spend money this month. But
we got some excellent stickers coming to our Etsy store very soon. So if you haven't picked up a coin, some of those are... I still got a few of the World's Fair coins up there for sale right now. I'm trying to sell out of the first batch before I relist everything so I can possibly do some international shipping on there. But I've got some stickers with art by Tim Lottie that he did for us coming here soon. So those should be delivered tomorrow, so those should be up by the end of the week if you're wanting to pick up one of those.
Fun.
Hot.
Yeah.
Those are beautiful coins. Got me one.
Although we did get one funny bad review. Somebody's like, the back of the coin wasn't as good as I was expecting. And I was like, these coins have been sitting around in the same box since 1964.
They didn't think to clean it?
No, I mean, I cleaned it, but some of the stuff just won't come off. There's like some natural deterioration on there. And I try to be very fair when I sorted them. I'm not trying to...
I thought Ghostbusters people were big on weathering.
Yeah, apparently not.
But they want that thing shiny mint.
Most of
the mint.
The front of damn near all the coins are very minty. There's only a few that didn't have the greatest fronts, but most of them are nice. So, But I think if my count is right, I've got ballpark of 175 more to put up for sale. So I'm going to earmark a few for the contest. I'm going to get some sent over to Ghost Corps. Or Ghost Corps, sorry. Everyone gets pissed at me when I say it like that.
No, I just think it's funny.
It should be Corpse. That would be funny. But
I pointed it out to Eric Reich. That's when I waited till when we were on with Eric Reich to point it out to him.
Yeah, it was great. He's like, you dumb bastard. I still do it, too, so obviously I didn't learn my lesson. You know?
How do you say Illinois?
Illinois?
You go say Illinois?
No.
Des Moines.
You say George Washington?
No, there's no R in that. Our mother likes to say it.
I know. My mom's like, I'm from Missouri. I was like, where do you think I'm from?
So do washing machines.
Yeah, washing machines or washcloths. You're like, there's no fucking R in
Well, Washington's a proper name. At least say that right.
Washington, yeah.
If you want to say wash your clothes, I guess, whatever. But
or like you can always tell like it's some white old scumbag from this state, Missouri, when they call it Missouri. You're like, you fucking dirty old creep. Just don't say that.
I guess if you live in Missouri, you can call it whatever you want. But.
No, you can't. You can't call it Missouri.
So we always call it misery.
Yeah, Kansas Shitty Misery Hut. That's a classic joke, right? Everyone's got
I heard that one.
One of those fun little names for their stuff.
It really is misery, though. Don't come here.
It's not bad.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
He's over there finding buttons to click.
Yeah.
He's like,
let's what'll work right now, even though it's 5 minutes.
Hey, so Aliens, E.T., the extra testicle. No, that's a Cheech and Chong joke.
Charlie Sheen. We got cocaine on the table. You can't really see it, though.
The X-Files.
We're not reviewing.
Adonis Blood and Tiger DNA. This movie is so positive, but this is before Charlie Sheen announced that he was HIV positive.
Oh, Jesus! Oh!
Hey, he did his own living here, so we can't judge him for that. We're just stating factual information. But we're talking the Arrival tonight.
Oh. Not Arrival. The Arrival.
You know what I just watched? Me pulling a can off some moron's vest? Return of the Jedi.
Did you see Alien? When that creature was in that guy's stomach?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
You ever seen that really old movie? Empire Strikes Back?
Jesus, Tony.
Welcome to Retro Release Reviews.
The Arrival with Charlie Sheen.
1996.
I'm telling you, this is a great movie. There's a few things I kind of wanted to cover before we get too far into this.
Great.
He looks like a grocery store manager.
I don't know. No, he looks like total dad vibes.
Yeah.
Well, a dad that manages a grocery store. But yeah, not a good look for
Well,
him.
that weird buzz cut and glasses really throw it off, and he looks like he put on a hefty amount of weight since he had done Major League 2.
He looks pretty good shirtless, though.
I mean,
but was that his butt? We don't know.
Probably.
That was a butt double
I
shot.
find it's
if I ever
best
saw
to
one.
stay out of other people's affairs.
You'd have to ask him if you ever run into him. So, you know there was a direct-to-video sequel to this that came out in 1998?
It's on the back of this.
Oh, you got a 2-pack of this
Oh,
shit?
shit.
Mhm. Fuck yeah.
Oh, well, we're reviewing
was
that
like
next
six-
week,
it was like
everybody. For the 100th episode.
It was like $6.
Who's in that?
Used. Nobody
Now,
I know.
I got a serious question. If you have played The Arrival, the
It's
video
Patrick
game tie-in...
Muldoon.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
Yeah. If you have played the video game tie-in to this movie that came out in 1997, I would fucking love to hear about it, because I did not know that existed until recently, a.k.a. last night.
it sounds like it's got the same plot.
Terry Polo, who plays Char, is Pam in the Meet the Parents trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of one of those big things.
Fucking A, man.
And Richard Schiff is Calvin, who is also Eddie Carr in The Lost World Jurassic Park. He's in Deep Impact. So there's a pretty good character cast around him here in this. I like it. This was written specifically for Charlie Sheen. The role was.
That's funny. This,
Was
if
that why
you
he's
want
a
to talk
creep?
about movies that are parallels, this one's parallel is Contact. But Contact is way better.
And the other fucked up thing is when you think about Independence Day came out like a month after this movie, so it really fucking just tanked the box office for this, because this movie is more of a psychological thriller mystery at the beginning for the first half, right?
Yeah.
Where Independence Day just starts out with the action-packed blockbuster juggernaut, so it's like, oh. But aliens were so hot at the time that no one could help themselves.
Independence Day is this movie with a bigger budget.
Independence Day
It's like
is
they couldn't afford to do all that stuff, so they had to do the smaller
way more
scale
action
story.
disaster, and this is more like closer to Contact in the first half, and the second half is more like Independence Day. You could say, but even then, Independence Day is much bigger scale.
Yeah, and this
Well,
movie,
right, that's what
I
I
mean,
mean,
you
like-
get
It's
the
also very much X-Files.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you get it's kind of like the combination of an X-Files. So if you took Jeff Goldblum's character out of Independence Day and
Had him have sex with Jeff Goldblum's character,
Yeah.
and then that child grew up and went back in time. That's Charlie Sheen's character. That's how you have to get him into the 90s and
Yeah.
grown up
Okay, that's fair.
and be who he is.
That's weird, but I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know. I'm confused.
Guess you guys aren't ready for that yet.
I don't know if anyone's ready for that yet. We don't know.
We don't know.
Oh, God.
I saw this in theaters when it
Did
came
you?
out. Yeah, I fucking loved it then. It was great.
I saw Independence Day. In
And then I quickly
Same.
forgot
I
about
didn't
it
see
after
this.
Independence Day came out.
I remember seeing Independence Day in theaters with you and Dad, at least. Mm-hmm. Dad literally trying to convince me to eat spicy chicken at the end of that night that my mom cooked, and I hated spicy shit, so I was like 5 when that came out. That's when this happened. 5.5,
Yeah.
as a kid would say. And
That half age.
he was
mattered,
like,
man.
well, he knew that my favorite character was the president, because I was like, I don't know why.
He wanted to be a president when he grew up.
No, not at all. But the president in this movie, I very much liked him, but I think it's because I had watched Spaceballs a lot, so I knew him and I recognized him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I liked Jeff Goldblum too, but I thought he was more of a geek. You know, when you're 5, you're like looking towards the guy who's like talking like a badass, and
Yeah, but when Lone Star is in your
exactly
is in your movie, you're like, oh shit.
You didn't
yeah.
like Fresh Prince?
I did, but I didn't
So
relate
why
as
wasn't
much
Will
because he's a
black?
black person and it's a different type of character. So that's when you're 5, you're trying to. I think your favorite character is driven by that.
Yeah, your favorite character in a movie is usually driven by the one you relate to the most. Inadvertently, right? It's just because it.
I mean, I had an action figure of the guy. You know what I mean? That's that kind of a thing. Where like that's the character I liked as a kid. So, but But he tried to get me to eat that spicy chicken my mom cooked by saying, "Oh yeah, the president ate spicy chicken in the movie," and I was like, "What? That didn't happen." He's like, "No, you fell asleep for a minute, and yeah, it happened." And I was like, "No, I don't care."
Yeah, wasn't buying it. The bullshit detector was on high alert.
It's not true.
Was it a spicy chicken sandwich or?
It was like weird shredded chicken with red stuff on it. I remember it just being spicy, and I was like, "Nah, I'm not eating this."
Yeah, interesting stuff.
Yeah. Even though we're talking about The Arrival, I figured I'd tell you that story.
I mean, it's important. We you know, they're same summer, right? So we got to give a little credit.
Yeah. So what do you got? What do you want to go through this thing?
Yeah, let's break it down. Talk about some memorable moments.
And we're done.
They open up in the satellite scene. It's Zane and whatever his friend's name is, I can't remember, chilling in there, basically doing nothing, and he's like trying to get the other guy to stay late.
Well, that's right after the other opening.
Well, then why didn't you talk about that?
Because the lady finds the flowers growing in the middle of the snow, which is why she's doing climate research. And that's the brief intro that you get before you see Charlie Sheen in the lab.
I took a page and a half of notes because I was like,
So Calvin and Zane are working together. And Zane's apparently a workaholic that doesn't like getting laid because clearly he's got relationship problems right now.
Yeah, the girlfriend calls.
His girlfriend calls, says she's out flirting with a baseball player, and he's too dumb to leave. And then they see the signal, and he gets excited about it. His life would have been so much more simple had he just left and met up with his girlfriend. And that's where the movie should have ended.
But his brains would have been sucked out by aliens.
No, he would have just died of climate change. Or it may not even killed him. You know, he could have been around for a while. But that's where the movie should have ended, but it carries on.
Yeah. Definitely does. Like I said, I like the first half a lot better, though, when it's this thriller element almost to it. And it's actually pretty goofy at sometimes, too. Like,
yeah.
So, yeah, she's basically like, you need to come home and fill me up. Both holes. Like, I'm fucking lonely, bruh. And he's like, I'll be home in just a little while. Tiger blood, you know?
Adonis DNA.
I'm doing coke and hookers with Calvin here.
Yeah. And then the funny thing there that's supposed to be funny is that Zane says everything that Calvin just said to him to his girlfriend about, like, his behavior and him keeping him there late.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay. I guess the hard part for me for this movie, though, is especially watching it as an adult. Like, as a kid, I didn't think anything of it, but now I watch this and I'm like, Charlie Sheen is too much of a fucking dumbass to know how to use computers that well. Like, he does not have that fucking intellect.
Yeah, he doesn't come off as a particularly smart person.
No, and I'm just like, it's
or at
disappointing.
least not this type of smart person.
I mean, it kind of works in the movie because you're so un-Charlie Sheened because he has glasses and a goatee and he just looks completely different.
Yeah.
But then also it doesn't work at all, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird one.
He goes from working at moments to not.
Are we clouded by what we know of Charlie Sheen now? Do you think it was the same in 1996?
No, because there's early Charlie Sheen work that still holds up. Like,
but I mean him in this particular role, though.
No, I mean, he just doesn't feel believable in there to me in a lot of it.
Yeah.
Like when he's down and out, like moving around in the field and doing some of that stuff, that feels more natural than him like sitting behind a computer and like doing all kinds of stuff. I'm like, all right, let's slow down. The only thing you know how to do is look at internet porn.
Yeah, they get 42 seconds of a signal. It's on 107 megahertz.
And that's based on a real life situation where they got 72 seconds of a
WoW
signal.
signal.
Yeah, the WoW signal.
1970 something, I think.
Yeah.
I like when he's in the office talking to the guy and he stops the little spinning toy on his desk. He just like fucking...
He just like crushes it.
Basically.
Yeah. Gordy, when he goes to Gordy's office and Gordy's firing him. That's amazing.
Yeah, he's like, he gets shit canned there and he calls it that. He's like, and you're shit canning me?
The replay value of this movie is very low because you're just waiting for all these basic things to happen that the first time you're watching is really exciting and like, okay, we're learning something new, and you rewatch and you're just like, well, this is really boring because I know exactly what's going to happen. Like, you see all the little things where they're trying to foreshadow or foreskin shadows, we like to say around here, and set up like these moments like once you know that Gordy's basically an alien and trying to cock block Zane the whole time. You're like, well, this really takes the woof out of.
Couldn't he have not told Charlie Sheen that the big signal came up on the computer? The kid, if he was an alien. Why did he say, "Hey, look, there's a big signal"?
There's a lot of things in this movie that don't make a lot of fucking sense. So let's get through it.
He's like asking her, "Why are you with me and shit that night?"
He's so insecure with Char, and she's just sick of his bullshit. It's like, why are you with a guy like
Did
me?
they just have sex or did they get out of the shower? Because he's like drenched.
They're implying that's their subliminal message.
Maybe they had sex and then took a shower.
Climate change. They're
Yeah,
sweating.
I know he's
because it's so
sweaty
hot.
through the whole movie,
Yes.
but he's fucking drenched.
I like to think that they just fucked.
Well, I think they did.
I
Did
like
he
to
also
think that
shower?
No, I like to think it's like 3 seconds after fucking, and she's still
He's
like
drenched.
It was post anal cream pie, and she's still squirting.
She's
out
dry,
as she
so
walks.
he did all the
No.
all the
She's
top.
farting come out.
No,
He did all the top work.
That's incorrect. What really happened in this, the reason he's so insecure in this moment is because he basically entered and finished.
No,
and
he's too sweaty for
he
that.
was insecure about that.
He did a good job. He was pretty sweaty.
I feel like she's into ruined orgasms.
Probably.
If it was
So
that
she probably
hot-
like as soon as he's about to come, she just like stops fucking him, gets off top, and lets it squirt with nothing there. And he's like, "Oh, whoa, come on!" And he's like, and then she punches his dick like that.
Again, that would have been a more entertaining film.
I'm telling you, Hollywood, I'm here.
Yeah, Alex here.
I'll remake The Arrival.
That's why
Charlie Sheen will
censorship
just come back
sucks.
and play the role again.
He will.
For a sack of blow.
I love it when he goes and interrupts
Tiger
the
blood.
lecture on colonization and terraforming, and they basically foreshadow the entire fucking plot of the movie to you right here now.
Mm-hmm.
And like I
I
said,
was like,
again,
it's
with
kind
the,
of surprising they're letting this guy talk so long. This must be tied into the plot later.
yeah, well, they tell you the entire plot. They're just using Earth as the
Terraforming,
example,
yeah.
and you're like, oh my god. And so that's another reason why the replay value in this sucks so bad, because it's not like it's fascinating. It's like very basic.
I'm not sure if I've ever seen this again. If I did, it was probably back in the 90s. So
Well, let me tell
it was
you,
like
I
watching
had,
it for the first time.
This is one of those movies I was like, oh, that's a fun movie, and then I watched it again, and I'm like,
It wasn't very fun. Not so,
again,
not sober.
that first third of it's kind of entertaining. But
I-
after Gordy fires his ass,
I like alien movies enough that I find it interesting. It's
It's-
like a bad episode of X-Files with Charlie Sheen starring in it.
it's a very good concept that they're trying to adapt the planet, because we're already like talking about that with Mars. So it's in concept, it's very unique, especially
Plus,
for
I
the
love
time.
90s movies, 90s aesthetic of movies and stuff. It's just, it hits home to my childhood.
You remember my comment last night where I was like, cheesy 90s title card?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the DVD
like
menu,
The
man.
Arrival.
It's even worse. I tell you.
They don't even show title cards or credits or anything in the beginning.
And
of
this is
movies
one of
anymore.
those that doesn't even give you the full like montage scene where they want to when he's setting up the lab in the upstairs office. Like they kind of do it as he's going around for the satellites.
I feel like that's fraud and
Oh,
shit,
yeah.
too. Like,
Yeah, it is. It's like, yeah, he's
on a massive level, sneaking into all
Oh,
these
yeah.
people's houses and doing this fucked up shit.
yeah, because he gets a job as a cable guy after he's a satellite communication specialist for, and you're like, what? Why the hell you? No one stops to question that, and you're like, oh, okay.
Because his old boss is sabotaging his attempts to get another job, remember?
Yeah, the alien overlord. Yeah.
The DOD guys are there taking their equipment, and he's like, whatever they're telling you, don't. They're lying.
They didn't get the tape back up, did they, Calvin? Did they? Did they? And Calvin just is basically like pissing his pants and lets them have whatever they want.
Yeah.
So
He goes to see his chick at work, who's like, I got a job offer. And he's like, well, you're not going anywhere because fuck you.
yeah, and that's right
Yeah,
after
he's-
earlier in the last
He's
scene.
a toxic boyfriend and a half, man.
Yeah, he's a trash human.
90s.
And that's-
I liked her bank teller outfit. Whoa.
She's surprisingly.
The other guy's like, he's not going to Idaho too. is he?"
Surprisingly, she's banging in this.
Oh no, I wasn't talking about her looks. I was just talking about her performance in this. Like her performance is surprisingly one of the best in this movie.
Well, he was talking about her
Yeah,
looks, so
she-
I assumed you were.
No.
Yeah, I think she probably was the best acting in this too. Yeah, I agree.
She was good.
Except for the cab driver, he was good.
Well, I love how that you keep re-seeing some of these same figures throughout, which is entertaining. And then the other time when they tell you that the
Tuesday, Wednesday, AM, PM.
When they tell you that Kiki is an alien the first time is when...
Who's Kiki?
The neighbor kid.
Oh, I didn't catch his name, I think.
Yeah, so when he comes over...
That's why I thought you were talking about him earlier when he said Gordy. I was like, was that his name?
No, Gordy's the...
Oh, that's right. He wrote his name, and I was like, is he writing KKK?
No, K-I-K-I. Jesus.
Cut that.
Can't
cut
take
that.
you anywhere.
Yeah, you do see how this might
Well, it
make
looked
us
like
look
K and a
bad.
K. I was like, what is he writing?
Nick, not everything can take place in your fantasy world.
Well, that struck a nerve.
We thought Nick liked Ghostbusters because there was ghosts, and it turns out he just likes to wear a white hood.
Oh.
No, so Kiki is there when the leaf blower comes in and drops the ball in there and sucks up Zane's lab. And he just kind of he sees what's going on and realizes it, so he just walks away like, I don't want to be fucking caught up in that thing.
Yeah, that's a funny scene.
So who did that? The aliens?
Yeah, that guy was an alien.
Mm-hmm. They all were.
So
There's a
then
bunch.
why doesn't Kiki know what's going on?
He does. He's playing dumb.
That's why the other guy just
But no one's
smiles at him.
watching.
He's the plant. That's why he walks away when the other guy watches, because he's the
Why did he
lookout.
tell him about the signal?
Because
I
it's a
don't-
movie.
I don't think Kiki was always an alien.
Well, no, I think he was. I
I
just
think
think
they
that,
killed him and took his skin.
I mean, that's one of those things that's just up to your own
gives a
personal
fucking
interpretation. It doesn't really matter. If you go the David Lynch route,
I like to think that he was.
I hope it feels so good to be right. There's nothing more exhilarating than
Clark scenes did
pointing
you
out
put
the
on here?
shortcomings of others, is there?
That's too long. It's too long.
No, it's not.
It's too long for this sort of thing.
Oh, I love
mean one.
I was just going through the soundboard.
You
like
just
that.
added all these, didn't you?
No, I've added them somewhat recently
Oh.
since you've been here, I
You're
guess.
clicking them like they're new or something.
No.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Well, I know the Emperor. The Emperor was on there. Okay, stop.
So he finally goes down to Mexico. But the best part with Kiki in this movie is when he's wearing the Freddy mask.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Alien.
that's a good
An
nod.
alien wouldn't do that.
Yeah, they would. An alien can know pop culture, you uncultured swine.
Who knows? Are aliens Freddy? Is Freddy Krueger an alien? Is that how we get Freddy Krueger in space?
Please make that happen. Like, I want a Legacy sequel that's complete and utter trash just by definition.
Well, Texas Chainsaw should have been in space.
No, it shouldn't have.
I think it would have been better if it was in space.
Every horror movie's got to go to space.
Yeah.
I agree.
And in space,
Jason did it.
Just
Leprechaun did it.
Just embrace the shit.
Scream 7 or wherever they're at, that needs to be in space.
Yeah.
So either way, so after Zane does all this bullshit and stealing people's satellites and doing all this illegal activity, he basically realizes that
he's
the
trying
signal...
to save the world.
No, he's not. He's an asshole.
I'm trying to save the world with cocaine and hookers.
So
Porn star hookers are more expensive than regular hookers.
So he goes to Mexico because obviously he finds the same signal
that
being broadcast.
radio station.
And there's a Mexican radio station that's over broadcasting that to try to hide it. Because he's so smart. But he's still not Jeff Goldblum in Independence Day, no matter how hard he tries. Some of the scenes in Mexico are pretty cool, though. Like the hotel scene's legit freaky, with the bathtubs falling through the floor.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's one of the best scenes in there. And like they foreshadow the hell out of that, too. Like you see like the water up there, and then you see all the water pouring around. You're like, what's going to happen? And then he jumps out.
That wasn't even
last second.
related to the aliens. It just happened.
Yeah, it's just like a shit building.
Well, the alien guy upstairs was doing that. He ran the water.
Yeah.
He ran the water and filled the tank upstairs till it
No,
overflowed and then dripped and ruined the floor.
He didn't know it was happening either.
Yeah.
It was just a coincidence.
No, he knew it was happening. Nick, you just didn't watch.
That's like a long con.
And then you get to see Charlie Sheen in the most natural Charlie Sheen element in this entire movie, where there's a naked lady in the floor below, sitting in the sink to survive because she jumped out of the bathtub too, and he's just staring at her, and she catches him staring, and he just keeps staring, and you're like, well, that basically lines up with everything we know about Charlie Sheen.
He's a peeper?
He's a little on the skeevy side.
I know he's skeevy, but I don't know he's a peeper.
I don't know if he's a peeper when the floor breaks like that. I mean, he could have looked down and seen a dead corpse. Probably would have looked at it the same, but...
I'd have been looking at her too, like, did you just see that?
He didn't say anything to her, though, which is what makes him the creep. Had he been like, are you okay? Like a normal person would have?
Muncher has a little hat. Oh.
At least he didn't just start stroking it. He'd be like, I'm going to come on you from up here. Stay right there. Don't move a muscle.
This impersonation you're doing of Charlie Sheen almost just reminds me more of a Nicolas Cage impersonation. Because it's just kind of like this weird, like soft, mellow voice.
There's
and I'm just
something
like, I
else
don't know.
that sounds like, and I can't place
Yeah,
it.
it's mixed in there, but I'm like, it's not Charlie Sheen, but keep going with it because it's fucking weird and I like it.
No, it's Little Nicky. That's what it is.
Oh yeah, Popeye's chicken's the fucking shit.
It is not Little Nicky
It
at all.
sounds a little Nicky.
Little Nicky sounds like this.
Yeah, it's got all that air in his breath.
I'm trying to do the grumbly one, and I'm overdoing it, of course, for comedic effect.
Then we get to see the reverse legs on the alien. That's a pretty cool scene. Even though some of the CGI in this does not hold up.
Wonder how
I
doggy
like,
style works with that alien.
I like the alien design, though.
Yeah, it's a unique design. And that head's
Other
on
than
it.
the CGI kind of looking like shit a couple times with them.
And there's a few moments where it looks particularly worse than others.
Exactly.
Like the scenes where they're
For the most part, I'm okay with it, but like sometimes I'm like, ugh.
Like the last scene with Kiki running away at the end where he bends his legs and runs off.
That looked
is
bad,
one of
but
the
it-
worst looking scenes
But
in
it
the entire
looked
film.
creepy, too, so.
Yeah.
There's a lot of blue screen. with him
Elena
standing
gets
in
killed
front
by
of
the
shit.
Scorpions after she goes out and falls in love with Charlie Sheen's character, Zane, because you're the only man I've ever met that like understands me. And then
Yeah, I was like, is this
obviously
going
they
to
have a
an
connection.
I thought they were going to get a new relationship.
She invites him to sleep with her. He says no, which Charlie Sheen really wouldn't do that. I don't think he's ever said no to anyone that offered sex to him.
She looks like his girlfriend, but 20 years older. Well, he pays for it. He's not going to turn down free sex.
Why buy the cow when you can have the sex for free?
When you,
You didn't say the magic word.
Yeah, so Elena's an interesting character, and they did a terrible job of weaving her through this story. Like, they show her at the
Yeah.
very beginning. You barely even learn her name before she's dead. And
but I like the use of scorpions, even though I hate scorpions. But
Yeah, I've had scorpions in my bed before, so
Yeah,
we were
I
talking
relate
about
to the
that
scene.
last night. You don't see scorpions used too much.
no, I mean, it was a good one, but those ones are naturally harmless, so that's the other thing. It was
Those
they're
ones
giant-
are?
Yeah, those ones that they used in the movie are harmless.
like big black ones like that usually are pretty harmless. The smaller they are, the
Oh,
worse they
I
are.
thought you said the small ones were the.
No, the small ones are the worst ones. They hurt worse and everything.
Oh, okay. I thought
Yeah,
you
and they're
said
more likely
I
to
thought you
have
said
a-
the big ones are poisonous though, or enough to kill humans, or venomous, or whatever.
Yeah, the larger ones are.
None of them
are
can kill
typically
humans
less
except
venomous.
there might be some in like Egypt or something that can. I'm not
Well, it's
too
like
familiar, but I know that none in like America can.
Well, it's like in Doctor No, where they had the tarantula, and tarantulas aren't actually capable of killing you.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those misconceptions that they use in movies.
Well, a lot of people are freaked out and by a giant spider like that. Can you blame them?
Yeah, if you're trying to scare someone, it's still gonna
This
work.
is a snakeskin jacket.
I mean, imagine if Spider-Man was a giant spider that looked like a spider. No one would like him.
And he was furry.
Man
spider
spider.
fur.
Yeah.
Man spider.
So we get to see Elena get killed off after we have their little exchange, and she propositions him outside of her apartment. And then
She's like, I'm really old.
What do you keep calling her?
Elena, or is it Lena?
No, it's Elena.
Yeah.
I was just making sure.
Yeah, Ilana.
I was like having a weird moment where I was like, is that what he's calling her?
Yeah. And then Charlie reaches back out to Char after a month. She hasn't heard from him in a month, and she's been going by his house checking his mail and shit. Which obviously she didn't
They
go in and notice
keep-
that everything was gone.
They keep doing those hints that she's bad. Like, he wouldn't necessarily be suspicious. Like, how did you know I was out of town?
Well, because
And
she
he's
laid
like,
the
"Why
plans that he's paranoid earlier too, and then she calls him paranoid again later. Like he's known for being.
Well, he's
just
like, how did you
paranoid,
know
too.
I was out of town? He's like, well, obviously I went by
I'm
your...
paranoid 'cause
I went
I'm
by your-
always high.
I went by your
Yeah.
place and your mail stacked up. And then there's something else later, too.
But she also tells him then in that same conversation that that company has basically set up 12 power plants in all third world countries, and they've all been funded by like rich American stockbrokers. So kind of that whole Illuminati type bullshit thing there, where they're saying
1%.
yeah,
They're all aliens.
fun stuff.
Lizard people.
Tiger blood.
Well, that whole trespassing scene at the power plant's probably one of the stronger scenes with aliens in it, I would say, in this one.
Still interesting, but funny at the same time. Because
Yeah.
the set looks like a fucking Doctor Who set.
It does. I mean, the set's very cheap for.
And some of
what
it wasn't
is.
really... Like, at one point he was standing in front of a wall and it was like blue screen.
Yeah. The alien language is interesting, especially when he
They're
kicks the cab driver out of the elevator. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds very typical if you've watched a lot of alien movies.
Yeah, it's very stereotypical. That's kind of sad, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, he's watching weird shit being poured into other weird shit that glows at one point.
Yeah, those little
green...
Those little pods get dropped in there and they turn into like a green fireball, which I'm assuming is what's heating the planet at a rapid pace.
Those are greenhouse gases.
Yeah, that's why they're green. That way you understand.
They should have been shaped like a house, too.
I'm surprised they weren't, to be honest with you. That way it's a house, but it's a green. Greenhouse gases.
Greenhouse. And it's gassy.
Come on, kill me!
I hit the wrong button because I have two kill me's. I thought it was this one.
I kill me.
That's what I was saying watching this. Come on, kill me.
Come on, kill me.
I mean, there's moments in this that are really could be great.
There's moments, yeah.
When he gets spotted on that camera down there and then obviously escapes.
The movie's a lot better when his girlfriend's in it, in the scene.
Well, then he goes to track down Gordy, and he's back at this office that he's been kicked out of, and Gordy goes, "You don't look too good." And he goes, "Actually, I look like a can of smashed assholes."
Yeah,
which is the funniest line in the fucking movie. I'm like, wait, you got one good line in this thing?
I look like a can of smashed assholes.
Yeah, that's like the only dialogue I wrote down because I was like, oh, finally something
Popeye's
really
chicken.
noteworthy.
Popeye's chicken's the fucking shit.
Then we get to I lost interest for a few minutes, so my notes picked back up and a little later on.
He dozed off. You can see the line.
I didn't know.
He either was having sex or jerking off, or fell asleep legitimately. Let me see.
Well, then my next note is that Char's called the cops when they're at that giant satellite dish.
What were you doing in the
Oh,
car?
wait. Then we didn't talk about how he gets a fake face of his own, though.
Oh, yeah, that whole thing.
He goes in the machine.
He puts the Edward James Olmos mask on.
Basically. And then starts running around and gets chased.
He looks like him, just browner.
Ends up ditching the face, and then he goes and talks to his boss. Did you already see that part where he films him admitting everything? No, that's after
You
this.
don't know that he's filming that then, but yeah, that's that whole conversation when he says the smashed assholes. Look like a can full of smashed assholes.
What are you doing on this planet? All that shit.
And then
he's like, "Welcome to Earth," and he punches him.
Welcome to Earth.
Earth.
Yeah. You got to quote it correctly.
Welcome to Earth.
Does he say it like Earth?
No. But I've heard it misquoted that way.
Yeah, a lot of people do that, and it's
sounds a little racist.
Yeah, just slightly. So then again, so is Charlie Sheen in that makeup.
Yeah, it is.
And you're like, well, that's not quite kosher, but if you realize
I'm
does
terraforming my body.
Oh, yes, that's true. So
there's people who think they're transracial, right?
Yes, I've heard.
Have you seen the guy who's transitioning into being Asian?
There's a lot of people that are transracial.
He thinks he's Korean.
Yeah, but that's just like that one white gal that was portraying herself to be a black woman, was like on city council.
No, it's not just like that.
I know, but I'm saying like she's a very famous example of that.
Rachel Dolezal.
If you're not familiar with transracial people, she's like
We have
kind
a
of
lot of
primary
transracial listeners.
No.
We're not saying anything bad about them. We're just
transracial is not a thing. Fuck off. That's racist, weird, obsessing with another race shit. Now, if you're legitimately biracial and things like that, that obviously is relevant and not the same thing. So,
No,
yeah.
Yeah, one's like a severe mental illness and a next level of cultural appropriation at an
I want to be Asian. I'm going to get plastic surgery to look like my favorite K-pop star.
This accent, man, I don't know what it is, but it's so weird. I feel like this is your character now. I feel like this is somebody you're becoming.
Tiger blood.
You're going to hear Alec doing his own DJ show as this weird character. We're going to name this son of a bitch, though. I don't know what yet, but we'll get there.
You can call me
Little Dicky.
Daddy.
You can call me Mr. Sheen. All right, so Kiki betrays Zane and lets the bad guys in, including Gordy, which is fun.
What do you know about smuggling heroin in your assholes? That's kind of what I sound like, too.
Then they recreate the scene from Terminator 2 at the end with the liquid nitrogen, and they freeze everybody. And like the
Hasta la vista, baby.
And that's all I could think of when I was watching that. I was like, seen it. Simpsons did it. And obviously he survives, and then they drop the little ball where they're trying to suck up this whole lab. and eventually it starts activating much slower and painstakingly annoying at this point compared to the first time we saw it. And, you know.
It was slower for plot reasons.
They escaped to the desert.
Well, yeah, they escaped through that, and I was like, oh, GoldenEye? Oh, also, what else did I mention? Oh, the Cable Guy, GoldenEye vibes with the satellite dish vibes. Like, we've seen this so many times.
To be fair, they might have been shooting this before
Ricky.
GoldenEye came out.
Ricky Ricardo.
Yeah, exactly. Either way, all at the same time. Like, there's so many themes that are just, like, reoccurring in these same time period movies, right? So
Big satellite dishes were a new thing.
Well,
They weren't the one in GoldenEye
right
was
before it
out for a long
ends,
time.
No,
she
GoldenEye
says to
came out
Charlie
months
Sheen,
before this, though.
for England, Zane? And he says, no, for
Earth.
me.
That would have made it much better, at least if they were aware of that.
No, no, because
And then-
GoldenEye came out like 6 months.
Charlie
before
Sheen
this.
should be the next Bond. Bond. James Bond.
Bail Bond.
Bail Bond.
Sorry.
Well, his former wife was in a Bond movie.
Yeah, Denise Richards.
I'm divorced.
Thrice divorced.
Either way. So, yeah, this movie kind of ends on that note, and, like, Kiki's there, and they tell him, like, we're telling everybody about you, and you don't understand Kiki. You're like, does Kiki kind of like this guy and doesn't want to destroy Earth, and he's kind of, like, sympathetic to the Earthlings? They just never developed that
Kiki's
plot
name is too close to the word kinky, so it just doesn't work for me. Got to rename that character. I don't care. George Lucas, this shit, rename it.
Retcon it.
Is Kiki's grandma an alien? Because she was watching them fuck.
Oh, that's hot.
Was that her? You just see her. Yeah, she saw them
Kiki's
naked.
grandma was watching them fuck on the balcony.
I don't know. They don't ever explain that.
Well,
that's The Arrival with Charlie Sheen.
Yep.
Don't
So
watch
if you
it.
made it through it, you should probably see it at least once. But
Yeah.
hopefully you don't listen to us before you watch
If you
it.
like
because-
alien flicks, it's worth checking out at least once or twice.
If you
I
listen
bought
to
it.
us without watching it, you definitely don't want to watch it now.
Watch my movies.
But you can watch Arrival too.
I haven't seen that one yet, so maybe there's some surprises in there.
I'm only in The Arrival. It's
Did
the
you
only
watch
one you
it?
should watch. No, I haven't seen it yet.
I read about it last night.
The
and-
plot sounds the same, so it doesn't sound like it's like continuing.
I'm not in it. Who cares?
Well, essentially, they kill Charlie Sheen's character at the beginning, and his long-lost brother goes looking for him and
Is
finds out
Charlie
about the
Sheen in a
conspiracy.
cameo?
No. They couldn't pay him to do that.
Was it Emilio Estevez?
No.
No, we found that other Estevez.
My
didn't
brother
we?
was busy shooting the third Mighty Ducks.
Remember, we found that other Sheen, that other guy. What's his name? The other brother.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you called him
Peter
Walmart
Sheen?
brand.
Oh, yeah.
Sheen or whatever.
And he also, I think he runs the production company with it.
Bill
co-branded
Sheen?
for Estevez Sheen or whatever they call it.
George Estevez?
Either way, they give us this very cheesy ending where they start showing the newscast with the weather, and it's still hot, and then all of a sudden...
Carlos Estevez?
Yeah. Then Charlie's video starts playing. Zane's video starts playing.
I need to go get the power supply. Because the laptop's dying. We're at 9%.
Well, this one's done, so put a stick in it.
All right, good night, everybody.
Good day.
Words.
Shut this off. Shut these all off.